6. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is just pull up the answers. If you missed it, I do not want you to erase what you had. Write in the correct answer. Most of your mistakes, as I was walking around, if you made mistakes, they're common mistakes. A couple of them I fixed, like if I see an empty loop at the back, what does that mean you should have added to your answer? A 0, okay? I saw a couple people do another common error where when they move the decimal point, they leave off all of the regular numbers in front of it and they only write down the numbers behind it. That's a common error, but any number in the problem has to also be in the answer. The only thing we add or get rid of is zeros, okay? So any actual number in the problem should also be in your answer, okay? I'm going to read through them, but I'll also just put them up here for you to see. Make this bigger. Well, we can't do it there. I got to do this first. Okay, so I will read them out loud. Number 4, you should have 16.3. If on any of those, if you have an extra 0 back behind the decimal point, is that okay? Yes. Yeah, if it's at the very back and it's behind a decimal point. If it's in front of the decimal point, and it's not okay because it changes the value. So number 5 is 853. Checking your answers. Number 6, 3.97. Number 7 is 176. Number 8 is 78. Number 9 is 76,500. 76,500. Number 10 is 8.1. Number 11 is 123. Number 12 is 48. Number 13, 9.3. Number 14, 2,294. And number 15 is 50. Are there any of them that you need me to work out? Finley, do you know why you missed it? Do you see what you did wrong? How many loops should you have done? Coming around number 15 was probably the most missed problem, just looking at it. Like skimming as I walked around. So 0.05. I count the number of zeros. There's 3 zeros. What does that tell me to do? Move the decimal point 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So now I would add in an extra 0. Does it make sense to write that? Technically, is that correct? Yeah. But what zeros are not necessary up there, Brady? The first two. Okay, so these ones aren't really necessary, so that's why they just wrote 50 as the final answer. Okay, are there any other ones you need me to work out? No? Okay, set your book aside, pull out yesterday's notes paper. We're going to fill out the back. Okay, so again, yesterday we did multiply by powers of 10. Today we're doing divide by powers of 10. How are multiply and divide related? Maya? They're opposites. So we have to do the opposite. We're going to start just like we did yesterday. I'm going to give a couple people calculators. and have them type in some questions and some answers. Who thinks they already know the rule before we even do anything? Anybody have an idea? Brady?
Like, it's kind of like multiplying, but like dividing. It's like 10 times 2 less. Like, there is another word in there, but I can't remember.
There is another word in there. But yeah, we're going to be going to the left, okay? Finley, can you type in this problem? I want you to type in 4.5 divided by 1,000 and tell me what you get. Yeah, you guys are writing these. These are the ones we're just giving you the problem and the answer. We're not showing the work. 0.0. Okay. Nate, can you type in 41.2 divided by 1,000? 0.0142. Nope, that's backwards. Yeah, you said it right. I said it wrong. 1,412. Right? Okay. Maya, will you type in 42 divided by 10? Caden, you should have this notes page. It was in your packet of things yesterday. You can at least fill out the back right now.
4.2.
Nope, 42 divided by 10. Try it again. I think you typed in 2 divided by 10.
Can I go check in my locker?
Yeah.
Oh, 0.
Do 42. Make sure they both enter at the top where you can see them. Divided by 10. 4.2. Okay, now I'm going to do one more problem just to show you why our trick works. I want you to write 42 times 1/10. Does anybody, we already decided that divide and multiply are opposites. 10 and 1/10 are also opposites. Does anybody know what those are called? I don't think we've said the word yet this year. It's a big long R word. 10 and 1/10, 2 and 1/2, 3 and 1/3, 4 and 1/4, 5 and 1/5. What am I doing to get those sets? Maya?
You're taking the whole number and then it's like denominator.
Yeah, so the whole number 5, if I had to write a whole number 5 as a fraction, what would it be? 5 over 1. So 5 over 1 and 1 over 5 are these things. 3 over 1 and 1/3. Even though you don't know what the things are, if I gave you 7 over 1, what do you think the other one would be? 1 over 7. Those are called reciprocals. Everybody say that word. Reciprocals. All it is when you flip a fraction. Okay? Anytime you multiply a number by its reciprocal, you will always get 1 because they are opposite of each other. So what I'm showing you here is that if I take 42 times 1/10, if I typed it into a calculator, I would get 4.2. I want you to write that down. That's an important piece today, and it'll also be very important when we divide fractions. And then make a little note that dividing by 10 and multiplying by 1/10 equals the same answer. Dividing by 10 and multiplying by 1/10 equals the same answer. And that's actually true for any number and its reciprocal. So 49 divided by 7 is what? 7. So 49 times 1/7. All I did is change the divide to a times and flipped the fraction. What do you think it is? 49 times 1/7. 7. It's still 7. Okay, that's always true. Today we're just focusing on the tens, and it's because of our quick rule. So looking back at these examples, what's happening to the decimal point from the first number to your answer? What's happening up here? So to go from 4.5 to 0.0045, what's happening? Yeah, the decimal point is moving to the left. How many times in that first one? 3. Why do you think that? Because there's 3 zeros. So we're doing the exact opposite of what we did yesterday. So our quick rule that Brady could remember most of, but not all of, does anybody remember it? If it's 10 times to the right, 1/10 times to the left. So the quick rule to help us remember those things are 1/10 times to the left. But in order for that one to make sense, we have to know that multiplying by 1/10 is the same thing as dividing by 10, because they will show it to us as a divide by 10, and our chant says times 1/10 to the left, or 1/10 times to the left. So we're going to write this is the same as divide by 10. If you're multiplying by 1/10, it's the same as dividing by 10. Now we're going to put it into words in case the quick rule doesn't make sense or doesn't click with you. Does everybody have that so I can scroll up? Okay.
I think I left my science folder that has stuff attached to it at my house.
Okay. Finley, you have it? Okay, so what does this mean? It means that if you are dividing a number by a power of 10, you can just move the decimal point to the left. How do we decide how many times to move it to the left? Maya?
By the how many zeros are in behind.
Yeah, you count the number of zeros. Is it in the whole problem? The number of zeros in the power of 10. Count the number of zeros in the power of 10. Okay, so let's do some examples now. That we're actually going to show our work and work through. So number 1, let's do 5 divided by 1,000. Our work is going to be exactly the same as yesterday. What do I need to do? Harper?
Write down the 5.
Write down the 5. Okay, copy down my 5. Now what? Brant? Okay, I count my zeros. There's 3 zeros. Harper?
So the decimal point will be after the 5, so you loop 3 times.
Yeah, so I have to move my decimal point 3 times, and since it's divide, it's to the left, okay? But a lot of people, when they go down there, they're like, there isn't a decimal point, so we have to place it first. A whole number 5 would have a decimal point right there. So if I don't see one, I have to place my decimal point first before I start moving it. So now I can go 3 loops to the left. 1, 2, 3. There's my new decimal point. I was going that direction. What do I fill in place of those empty loops? Kendall? Zeros. So I'm going to copy this down. Decimal point 0, 0, 5 is an okay answer. What else could I add to make that a little bit better? Brody?
Put a 0 in front of the decimal.
Yeah, put a whole number in, and our whole number is just also 0. Okay, is this much different?
No.
No. Okay, let's go to another one. Let's do 0.13 divided by 10. Haley, what do I do?
Copy down the 0.13.
Okay, copy down my 0.13. Okay, keep going.
Count the number of zeros to the 10.
Okay, I have 1 0.
So move the decimal 1 time to the left.
Okay, 1 time to the left because I am dividing. So to the left. Abby, what is my answer that I'm going to write down?
0.13.
Be careful. My decimal point's here, so I need that one also.
0.013.
Yeah. On a lot of these, you're going to have to fill in a whole number of 0 also. So from your work step, if your decimal point's here, just remember if there's nothing out in front in my answer, I'll throw a 0 out there as well. Okay, a few more. I can't scroll anymore since that's the bottom of the work. Does everybody have that? Okay. Let's do 496.5 divided by 10 to the 5th power. Jude, help me out. What do I do?
Since it's to the 5th power, you do move it over 5 times.
Okay, so first I copy down the number. Okay, and he said the 5 in the 5th power. If I multiplied out 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, it would have 5 zeros. So really all I need to focus on is that 5, and it tells me to move it 5 times to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who thinks they know what I'm going to write down? Maya, go ahead.
Put zeros in the loops.
Okay, so I put zeros in my empty loops. 4965. What else should I add? A 0 out in front. So are these really much different?
No.
Nope, I'm going to do one more. Ooh, that's a bad one. 1,295 divided by 10 squared. Nate, help me on this one. What do I need to do?
We need to drop the 1,290.
Okay, so I rewrite my 1,295. Okay.
And then you have to put a decimal down
Okay, where would my decimal point be in that number?
in front of the 5.
Not in front of it, it's behind it. Okay, because that's like 1,295. If you need to think money to figure out the decimal point, think money. So $1,295. If I put it in front of it, that's only $129. Okay, keep going.
And then there's 2 zeros
Okay, there'd be 2, so I'm going to circle that 2. Which way do I move my decimal point?
to the left.
Okay, why is it to the left today? Because we're dividing. Yes, it's getting smaller. It's going to make our number smaller. So then this one would just be 12.95. And again, our numbers are getting smaller because we're dividing. Okay, so our answer should be smaller than what we started with. Does this make sense? Okay. You actually get the rest of the time to start on your homework. If you finish your homework, you can work on your weekly worksheet. If it's done, you can turn it in. Or if you have nothing else to do, you can read. It is in your book.
Did I do that last night's homework?
Yeah, wait just a second. Okay, in your book, your homework is page 463. It's just like last night's. It's a similar page to last night's, except it's on page 463. 463, I believe. Let me check. Yep, keep going. Is anybody there yet? Okay. Yep, so page 463. Just like yesterday, you'll just do the whole page. So you'll have problems 4 through 13. If you finish it, work on your weekly worksheet. If you finish your weekly worksheet, go ahead and get it turned in.